All right, let's continue the discussion now, and let's unpack the President's reply to the SONA debate. We're joined by political commentator Kobus Schoeman, who talks to us from Pretoria this morning. Kobus, good morning to you, and thanks for your time. Just interesting headline captured by the Citizen newspaper this morning, and it quotes the President directly. Everyone can see we have done well. So, what is to be said about what he referred to as nitpicking MPs or members of parliament who belong to various political parties, particularly when he said they seem to be using this platform for their own political ends, if you like?
Yes, some interesting comments and statements by the President. In his SONA speech, and with the announcement of certain nonsensical measures, a number of commentators were of the opinion he is now campaigning for the next election. So I think everybody's getting onto their election mode or into their election mode. But listening to delivery touch, at times he sounded more like the opposition complaining about things that have gone wrong. And the things that have gone wrong under his watch. So, it's an interesting dichotomy. But be that as it may, the President has an interesting style of governance. Since his victory at last year's 55th National Conference of the ANC, he had an opportunity to free the ANC structure of faction friction. And during SONA, he had another opportunity, but nothing has come to fruition yet. So hopefully, shortly after the budget speech, we'll hear something.
Yeah. Let me pick up on what you've just said, that the President seems to be missing the opportunity almost to capitalize, if I'm capturing you very well, to capitalize on the victory that he has just attained at the ANC elective conference. What should he have done, either prior to the State of the Nation address or even days after he delivered that address? What are some of the things that he could have done to prop himself?
Yes, I'll mention a few. And it was interesting, leading up to the conference, there were some doubts whether he would have a sufficient majority, and there was speculation about the numbers. And then he had this resounding successful campaign. And the stuff that he could have started immediately was ridding the top structure of the ANC of that faction friction. That's the main thing that he needs to settle before he can continue. Yeah. Now, we all know that the NEC is mainly the source for talent to include people in his cabinet. Now, he's still sitting with people in the NEC that are factionally opposed to him. So that would have been the first thing to do and sort out. And coming into SONA, he could have already done a cabinet reshuffle. Actually, I think before the Indaba, he should have had a reshuffle, because he went into that NEC in Indaba with a lot of people who don't see eye to eye with him. And from there, he needs to pick some new positions in cabinet. Yeah. So it will be interesting to see how this pans out. But another thing that needs real serious action and not words and promises is getting the local government structures sorted out, because they are in a dismal state. and the state's infrastructure is collapsing, and we're sitting with a bloated civil service and a cabinet that is really could be streamlined, particularly to help the fiscus, just as such.
Let me also use this opportunity, Kobus, because the understanding is that part of the president's job when he delivers the State of the Nation address, it's to speak directly to issues that affect South Africans. Now, I'm not saying that on Thursday last week, when he delivered the State of the Nation address, the nation had been in a depressed mood. Indeed, we probably were depressed because of the ongoing power situation. We also could have been perhaps depressed, but perhaps now more so given the crime, the scourge of crime that is taking place in this country. Incidentally, today, the Police Minister, Bheki is going to be releasing the quarterly stats for the third quarter of 2022. Do you think that the President used the reply to the SONA debate to talk to the nation, the soul of the nation, given what we are going through right now, this scourge of crime? Criminality is at an all-time high.
Yes, I think that's another opportunity that he missed to take people in his confidence and address the people themselves. There are many thoughts around political thinkers that the cabinet and the president are so removed from reality that they can't really speak to the people, and they do not have a full understanding of the depression that there might be among the people, and it's very easy to slump into depression if you look at especially the crime figures and the state of electricity supply, which is costing the economy millions every day, and small businesses are really struggling. I missed the empathy and the correct or the direct connection with the people, and I was listening to some of the accolades bestowed upon themselves as a government, and it really he's missing the point of the real issues that need to be addressed. To mention that we are talking to people for investments and there are investments coming, and that doesn't put food on the table for people struggling with living costs that is soaring and the interest rates staggering all the time, fuel prices fueling this whole situation, and pointing out failures and challenges instead of coming up with concrete solutions. That's the bottom line, as far as I'm concerned.
I want to conclude the conversation with this bit, Kobus, because this is what the nation was. This is probably what was uppermost in the minds of many South Africans, perhaps I should put it. I want us to take a listen to this soundbite from the President, and then you'll tell me if you were convinced by the President's argument around this. Let's take a listen to the President addressing the issue of the Minister of Electricity that he is yet to appoint.
I also wish to extend my thanks to ministers and deputy ministers that I'm privileged to work with. I thank Deputy President David Mabuza has indicated his wish to step down from his position. This is a request I've informed him I'm considering and attending to, and I would like to thank him. This appointment will ensure that there is a minister who is ultimately responsible for resolving load shedding and who is able to work with all fellow cabinet ministers, departments and entities also. Some have suggested that the appointment of the minister will cause confusion and fragmentation, and that it might also result in turf wars amongst the ministers who deal with energy and ESCOM. That is not the case. This minister will be focused day in and day out only on addressing the load shedding crisis, working together with the management as well as the board of ESCOM. The minister will be leading the National Energy Crisis Committee and interacting with all other departments.
Kobus, I know we took a bit of time to get directly to the point of where I was driving this, but in less than a minute, do you think the president was able to make a case for this minister of electricity to be appointed, or perhaps why the need for this minister?
Yes. The short answer is no. There is no need for such a person. We've got Minister Gordhan and Minister Mantashe post and replaced by somebody more competent. But there was no concrete. So is that minister going to oversee the roles of Minister Gordhan and Mantashe? There's no need for it. We need a smaller cabinet, not a larger cabinet. And that's maybe just 30 seconds worth if you wanted that.
Kobus Schoeman, let me thank you very much for your time and indeed the analysis of the SONA debate, which concluded yesterday afternoon.